guys, so I have pork belly here that we got from the Asian store. It's about 1.31, well, it's 1.31 kilograms, so it's well thought out now. We're gonna cook this pork belly tomorrow, but today I want to boil it so that it's gonna be nice and tender and not chewy when we cook it tomorrow. We might make the chunkwali or something crispy, a crispy pork belly kind of thing, but I don't know how it's gonna turn out tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow when we actually cook it, but for today I'm just gonna prepare it. So what I'm doing is, in this big pot where that pork belly is going to be boiled, I have a few slices of ginger, a couple of cloves of garlic, and then I'm going to add in some bay leaves and peppercorns. Okay, so I have everything in this pot now. I have slices of ginger, a couple of cloves of garlic, some bay leaves, and a little bit of peppercorns. I don't have much peppercorn left, but I guess I'll do. And then I'm just gonna put in my pork belly in this pot, put in a little bit of water, and then boil it for at least an hour, maybe 2. Okay, so here's the pork now. I also added in a little bit of salt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover this, bring it to a boil, and then simmer it for at least an hour. Okay guys, so this is what happened to the pork belly. I simmered it for like an hour and a half, and then we let it cool down and let it dry completely in the fridge. This morning, my husband, when he woke up, he fried it, and this is what it looks like. So later on, before we eat it, I am going to put it in the oven and crisp it up a little bit more. And later on today, after breakfast, I am going to be making Brazo de Mercedes. Okay guys, so today I am going to make Brazo de Mercedes. It's my own way of making it, and it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. Anyway, so I'm gonna start off by separating the whites from the yolk of these 7 eggs. So I have my mixing bowl ready and a pot ready. So the egg whites are gonna go in the mixing bowl because this is gonna go in the stand mixer where I am going to be whisking and making the meringue. The pot is where the hello, and then the pot is where all the yolks are gonna go because we are going to be making the custard filling in this pot later on. So that will help us minimize all the dishes that we need to wash. And I've got here an extra bowl where I'm gonna crack the egg and separate the egg. That way I can make sure that the egg whites don't have any yellow in it, because otherwise we are not gonna be able to make the meringue that we like.
When I walk into the kitchen, you saw the look on my face, you saw the look on my had to get out of this place. I seen something I've never seen before.
Okay, so as you can see, I'm done separating the whites from my yolks. So if you saw me doing it earlier, I was using my hand to separate the whites from the yolks. It's just the way I do it. You don't have to do it that way. It's up to you, whichever way you're comfortable with. I just don't know how to do it, you know, using the eggshells. I'm just not good at doing it that way. I always end up breaking the yolk when I do that, just because there are like sometimes sharp edges on the shell, and I feel like I'm just more comfortable doing it with, you know, using my hands, as long as your hands are clean. And it's just a little bit messy though, like you need something to wipe your hands every now and then when you're doing it by hand. So now I'm going to get my pan ready before I get started making them. Okay, so this is my pan. I am going to be lining it with greaseproof paper, but before I do that, I am going to preheat my oven to 175 degrees Celsius, or even slightly lower.
Pineapple thousands, go on pizza. It's a fruit and
Okay, so I just spray my pan with this cooking spray or sunflower oil cooking spray or whatever oil cooking spray that you have, or grease it with butter so that the greaseproof paper will stick to the pan. I'm also going to spray the greaseproof paper itself so it'll be easier to take it out later on and separate it from our meringue when it's cooked. Okay, so I have my stand mixer here. We are going to need the balloon whisk, or you can also use the hand mixer if you have the hand mixer. I just find that the stand mixer is just a lot better at making meringue. And then I've got 1 cup of sugar ready. I'm using custard sugar. 1 tablespoon of corn flour. We're also going to need half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. So now I'm gonna turn my mixer on, beat the egg whites a little bit until it's a little bit frothy before I add any of the other ingredients. Okay, so my egg white is a little bit frothy now, so I'm ready to add in my cream of tartar. That's my cream of tartar. And then 1 tablespoon of corn flour. And then I'm gonna mix this again and then slowly add in my sugar. Okay, so I think at this point I am now going to add my sugar slowly. But I just want to scrape the sides because there is some sugar on the side of the bowl. Let's whisk it again. So I definitely can feel weight from the meringue, and that's how I can tell that it's ready. And as you can see, it's not falling off my spatula. It's stuck on my spatula even if I turn it upside down. So that's our meringue ready. So I'm gonna put this into the pan that we prepared earlier. And as for my whisk, I am going to rinse this straight away so it's easier to get any of the egg off it.
I seen something I've never seen before. When you put on the pineapple, we couldn't be friends anymore. Pineapple toast, go on pizza. It's a fruit.
I'm just gonna stick it in the oven, to our oven that's been preheated to about 175-ish Celsius, and we're gonna cook it for about 15 minutes or until it browns a little bit at the top. So there it is. Okay, so now we are ready to make the custard filling. So I have my 7 yolks from earlier, and I'm adding half a cup of condensed milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and that's all we need for the custard filling. Okay, so I have my flat whisk, so I'm just gonna mix this all up. Once that's done, I'm gonna turn on the heat, low heat, and keep on stirring until it thickens and cooks. You just have to cook it while stirring continuously because you don't want it to curdle. And the consistency of it, the thickness of it, it's up to you really. I like it thick enough so that it doesn't slide. off of my whisk, and that means it will not slide off when I put it on the meringue. I'm not finished cooking my custard yet, so I took it off the heat for a sec just to turn off my oven because my meringue is ready. So as you can see, it's right there. So I'm just gonna open the oven a little bit and let my meringue cool down and then continue cooking my custard.
You know that pineapple doesn't go on pizza. They just don't belong.
So I'm just gonna let this cool down for a little bit before putting it on top of the meringue. Okay, so as for my pork here, I'm gonna try to crisp this up and at the same time warm it up because it's been sitting and it's all cold now. So I've got my oven ready. So let's put it in there. While we're waiting for the pork belly, I'm going to assemble our Brazo de Mercedes. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dust our meringue with some powdered sugar or icing sugar. Normally I would use like a strainer to help dust it, but I'm a bit lazy at the moment, so I'm just using my hand and doing it this way. But using a strainer would be, or a sieve would be preferable. So anyway, I'm just gonna dust this. So now I'm going to need a flat surface that you can lift, like chopping board, and another bit of greaseproof paper because we are going to flip our Brazo de Mercedes or the meringue from the pan into this. So I'm just gonna put this right on top and then take my chopping board or whatever you have that you can use, put it like that, and then flip it over. We're gonna take off the grease-proof paper from our meringue. So I want to be careful because I don't want to tear my meringue. And now I've got my filling here. As you can see, this is the consistency that I like. It doesn't slide off like liquid, so I'm gonna put that on top. And then just spread it to cover the entire surface of your meringue. And then, now that it's spread all over, we just have to roll it. That's it done. So I'm just gonna let that rest. I think that's done. I'm ready to eat. I'm so ready to eat. Here is the Brazo de Mercedes. I unwrapped it already. The thing that I don't like about Brazo that I can't get perfected is that it does crack, so I don't know how to prevent that at the moment. But the important thing for me is that it tastes really good. So I'm gonna take a slice. So this is it. That's the Brazo de Mercedes. Would have been perfect if it didn't split, but it's okay.
I've never seen before. When you put on the pineapple, we couldn't be friends anymore. Pineapple doesn't.
Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. And if you like this one, give it a thumbs up and share.
You